And what an August that is turning out to be, of course, with the return of the D-Tigresses to sweet reception. Welcome to the Morning Brief right here on Channels Television. I am Bukola Koka, of course, always blessed amongst Jeffrey and Kayode.
Good morning and welcome to the program. It's a brand new day and we hope to make the most of the morning for you. Just to binge through, as I always say, the big stories, maybe yesterday, and things you should be expecting later today on the program. I'm Jeffrey Uzoma.
Bukola, August.
Yeah.
That's new.
Yeah.
But I see where you're coming from. So good morning and a warm welcome to the show. I'm Kayode Okikulu. The rains are still very much with us, particularly here in Lagos. It's not as heavy as it was yesterday morning. It rained more during the night, but I mean, different people are telling different tales about the effect of the rains, the flood in Lagos. Some said it would have been worse, actually, if the Lagos state government had not banned single-use plastic and some other things. But there you have it. The rain would always have its effect. Some of them short-term, some others long-term.
Yeah, some are actually just flash floods. They'll come and go. Some are resident members of the community.
They just come to pay a visit.
Like the one on, I was driving through from Berger to, what do you call it now, Olora.
Yeah.
You see that just that short distance, you see the water moves quite fast and it's heavy. I had to drive. I think I filmed it. Maybe we can get to look at it later on. So across Lagos, especially those on the island and some parts that are quite low. Some it will just come and go. The others, as I said, will stay. I don't know what has to be done. Perhaps this may be the reality that people may have to live with, or the failure of government to know what to do to at least mitigate this. It's either this or that. I'm not sure, because if I want to make that allusion, I have to look at the specific areas that, okay, you have to wait till the rains are over. If you're building around this area, just be ready for things like this over and over and over again. But for the ones that are failures of government, I think government should step up and do what should be, and the citizens as well should do their part as well.
Well, part of the conversation which must be reflected amid this flood, and heavy rains, is that prior to this time, the Lagos state government had actually been proactive through its Ministry of Environment, with, trips around Lagos, clearing of drains, sensitization, working with the State Emergency Management Agency and other relevant agencies, to raise awareness on the need to be prepared for not just the rains now, but for other emergencies. But we must also acknowledge that, Lagos is a coastal state, and there are other activities, that are pretty much unwholesome for the low-lying terrain of Lagos. We could talk about dredging and, all other related activities. So there must be besides the partnership with these relevant agencies across ministries as well, to look into that space, such that we can prevent these flash floods and even identify what, the underlying reasons could be. Because if you look at global predictions about rising sea levels and sinking states, I believe Lagos is one of them. So beyond the interventions at the agency level, there must also deliberate efforts as well. And this might also be the time to speak to the federal government's dredging, awarding of the dredging of the Ogun River, because of those who are in some parts of Lagos as well and Ogun State. That yearly visitor is coming through, and they're going to be experiencing, much more than floods, the submerging of part of their homes. The last time we spoke to the Commissioner for Environment in Ogun State, he said that the contractor had not moved to site, but he didn't give us any clear explanation as to why that has not happened yet. So those are parts of the problems, part of the conversation that must be reflected, and actions must be taken as well.
So we have our work cut out for us as a government, doing the heavy lifting, as a people doing the bits, but it comes together to stay heavy as well. So let us get the work done, because they say, as you lay your bed, so you will lie. I'm tempted to say on top ham because our sayings are better when you use pidgin. As you lay your bed, that's so you go lie on top ham. So it's very important. But the rains are here. And we're not even in October just yet, guys. This is just August. September,
I was supposed to actually
October,
be
November.
experiencing an August break, but it's far from a break. It's an August luge, more like an August, the way we started off.
So I see where that is coming from.
And of course, with our sweet victories.
There you go. So we have more for you on the program today, and we're getting started with politics. Call it 2027 build-up. Mr. Peter Obi saying, well, my plan is just to do one term. And there's been a lot of reaction to that, even from within his party, outside his party, within the country, outside the country. It's very interesting how much reactions this particular statement has generated. So we're going to go into the Labour Party this morning and get a sense of what is playing out. There's also the bit about who INEC recognizes. Which of the leadership does INEC recognize? Is it the Julius Abure leadership? Is it the Nenadi Usman leadership? It's a lot really to unpack with the Labour Party or with the family.
Interesting times for as far as politics is concerned. So, but besides all of that, we're going to also switch gears as well to talk about the victorious, I almost said Super Falcons, the Tigress. They've done us proud. This man is going to be perhaps the happiest man in Nigeria right now. Shehu Diko, he's led since he was made the chairman of the commission. The successes have been profound for the girls, Falcons, and now the Tigress. He led them to the president yesterday, and the same measure, they were rewarded. He's going to be joined by the coach, as well as himself on the program later on, as we have a chat on the future of sports in Nigeria.
And that's not all. We'll also be exploring the trends in party politics. Well, the Minister of the FCT and former Governor of Rivers State says the crisis in the PDP is over for now. But there are other conditions for peace. And he spoke about the South-South Congresses, the emergence of the National Vice Chairman South should be recognized. So we're going to be, placing this before other members of the party and see just how acceptable that really is, and feeling of their pulse, or the pulse of other members of the party through the eyes of our guests this morning. So it promises to be an interesting conversation.
Oh, definitely.
It's just funny. I have my comments, but I want to reserve them for later. So
you know what? Let's do this, Jeffrey.
As far as the PDP is concerned.
Let's listen to the FCT Minister. Then we'll take your comment. You have to take this comment, Jeffrey. So we'll take a listen to Minister Wike. Had another media party yesterday. He said a lot about a lot of things, but here's part of what he said.
Not leave this party, which I have done everything for the Buccaneers and vampires. If I had left the party, the Buccaneers and vampires would have remained in PDP to come and collect ticket.
Is the crisis over?
Well, it is over for now. Because there are still some things remaining, which I've told them they must do. One is our South-South Zonal Congress that was held must be upheld. There's no two ways about it. Now, when we were doing our South-South Zonal Congress, the acting national chairman claimed that the PDP governors were not in support of that zonal congress. Where are the PDP governors now? Where are they?
So, Honorable,
our Congress was held in Calabar, and there's nothing anybody can tell us. If they want another round of crisis, so be it. That Congress must be the Chief Danobi emerge as the National Vice Chairman of the Congress. The court allowed it for the Congress to hold. So there's no two ways about it.
Jeffrey, over to you now.
The PDP doesn't look like a serious party to me and to onlookers who observe the party very well. until they get their acts together. I'm sure the former members or members right now who are watching and listening understand exactly what we're saying. I know they are trying to put their house together. For now, looking at what is playing out, look at the words of Nyesom Wike. He's supported the party for a very long time. He's held on. But right now, it is very clear from his own mouth. So this is the analysis. A man that is very clear about his support for the president. He did it in 2023, and he said he would do it in 2027. Has now done, they did their Congress, it wasn't recognized. There's even a caretaker led by the elder, I've forgotten his, Emmanuel. And then there's a Danobi, which was elected in Calabar. He's saying condition, that's why I say for now. Condition number one, that Danobi Congress, that Congress that produced Danobi should be upheld. Every other caretaker should be disbanded. And then the Congress that produced or whoever elected the Vice President Southeast, that should be derecognized, should not be recognized, and perhaps suspend the guy and all of that. Now, Mr. Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, sitting down, making condition for a party that will field candidate for election which he would oppose in that election. I'm going to say that again. Mr. Nyesom Wike, he has every right, by the way, giving condition for peace and advancement of the party going into 2027 in an election that he will clearly support the ruling party against his party, according to him. So, does that look like, what does it sound like? Well, even looking at it, I don't even know whether a battle convention will hold and how far it will go. When Nyesom Wike gives you a condition, don't take it for granted. He's very serious with what he's saying, because he knows how to spoil it if he wants to spoil it. So that's why people are now gravitating towards the ADC, because they've done their analogy until the PDP puts their act together. They've refused to suspend people. They've refused to discipline people. They're just managing garbage, everything, just be going. I asked one of his lieutenants, I said, the problem in the 2023 election was Southern presidency. Okay, for this election, for instance, for the PDP, if the PDP now produces a Southern candidate for your party, say, no, that until we get there and depend on who is a candidate of the party. So I don't think Nyesom Wike and the people that are with him have hidden their interest in supporting the president, whatever it takes to support the president. And to now benchmark certain conditions and alignment with him within the party to fulfill it for an election that he will clearly support, he will not support your party. I don't know what they are doing. It doesn't look like a serious thing to me. So that's my 2 cents. And I've been consistent until there's a change. But for now, PDP is not out of the woods at all. It's far from it. It's not out of the woods because there are enough spoilers within the party. The Nyesom Wike has lieutenant from the NWC down the line.
Oh, definitely.
So who is going to be signing? Senator Samayan is loyal to Nyesom Wike.
There you go.
So if he refuses to sign your form, you are as good as no candidate.
And those are the
It
real
may even
issues.
get to a point where PDP may have a difficulty fielding a presidential candidate in this election. Watch what will happen.
So you say you have been consistent, Jeffrey, but one thing that the PDP hasn't been is consistent.
I'm not in the PDP. I'm just analyzing as a political watcher.
I'm just taking it to the doorstep of the party now. Remember, during one of their just concluded meetings, they were quite emphatic on the need for discipline in the party. And if there's anything that key members of their party has not been, it's been disciplined. When you consider how some of their governors have endorsed the president, for the 2027 elections, but chosen to remain in the party. So what is the PDP doing at the national level about those who are embarking on such endorsement, because that is tantamount to anti-party activity? What is the PDP doing about the comments of the FCT minister and indeed his conduct, over the last year or so, which is also tantamount to anti-party activity? You must remain in one party and, of course, be loyal to that party on every front. So those are the issues. And when you consider also one of the reasons that has divided the the party, which is the national secretaryship position. I'm wondering about, the consistency or the lack of it of the court judgments, at the High Court and Appeal Court level and at the Supreme Court level. And when you recall also that, ahead of the 2023 presidential election, one of the, bones of contention at the time was Section 8412 of the Electoral Act, which of course was the concern about government appointees fielding ambitions and choosing to remain, as officials of the ruling party at the time, and which also speaks to that particular concern about retaining his position and then contesting, for the Southeast governorship election. So I'm wondering whether the Supreme Court judgment, also is in line with the spirit of the Electoral Act, which is the same issue, by the way. So we must see some level of consistency within the People's Democratic Party about the adherence to the rules and the party's constitution on every level, not just on this particular one that is dividing the party. And if the Minister of the FCT must, dictate for the party, is it also what the other members of the party want? Why does one member, of the party, have so much influence, dictate how the party should run its affairs? Those are critical questions, of course, part of which we'll be putting through to members of the party themselves.
But just so the legal part is that the argument is to who is a public official and who is a civil servant. The constitution of the PDP says may resign. That is what Anyanwu held on to. You understand? And then in the Electoral Act itself, somebody who is an NWC member, he's neither a civil servant nor a public servant. That's the argument. So everybody just look for a legal route to run away from this kind of day. We'll ask the questions to the people. We'll give it that.
It's funny.
It's just
politics.
Isn't it amusing?
It is
and interesting at the same time.
Definitely. I mean, politics decides every other thing. That's the point. Politics decides security, economy, and all of that. So when people spend time on politics, when people talk politics, it's because it's vital to the life of our nation. But that's not to take away from the digress, okay? There's a lot of celebration to be done. I will be celebrating them big on the show today. We'll have their coach, Rena Wakama, joining us, the chairman of the National Sports Commission joining us as well. But let's switch gears now and take a look at how the dailies reporting the big stories. That's at the moment. Stay with us.
All right, let's get to the dailies. Celebration galore. This is what Kyle has been looking forward to. So let's get started in it. Vanguard newspaper, Afro Basket win. The Tigress gets $100,000 each, flags national honors. Says Nigerian women never failed nation in sports. Your win will inspire generations unborn. That's according to the First Lady. And sports sector set for greater heights. That's Mr. Shehu Diko, who is going to be joining us. But Mr. Fatayo joins us on the program. He's a public affairs analyst and a journalist. Mr. Fatayo, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a celebration moment. At least women has brought glory to us. Let's celebrate.
Men also bring glory now, Mr. Fatayo.
You didn't have to stand
Men
there.
and women bring glory. But it's good to see you again.
Thank you, Mr. Fatayo.
So, Mr. Fatayo, what do you make of this? Equal measure, the president, a lot of people say we're going to watch what the president will do for the basketball players, just like he did for the footballers. And now he said, okay, everybody deserves the same. What do you make of it?
Yes, it's a good one. It's a good one to celebrate with them because they've done us proud. At least if you are not getting it with maybe the economy or security, whatever it is, at least in sports, the nation is smiling. We are celebrating. My only concern will just be that I will have wished Mr. President will have extended the same gesture, when I mean gesture in terms of monetary now, to the coaching staff, because you need the coach that can harness, put everything together so that we can come out with our best performance. But giving the coach $50,000 and the player $100,000 each. To me, it's just because if the player didn't perform, it's either the coach will be sacked or something. At least you and I know that. But we're giving them national honor, the house, equalizing the reward system is a good way to go. And congratulations to our women basket footballers.
Let's go to the Nigerian News Direct now. It takes a detour from the victory of the D-Tigresses to politics. Of course, it flows from the monthly media chat held by the Minister of the FCT. Take a look at the headlines. Nigerians are watching. You can't be running from pillar to post. Wike blasts Atiku. Says 2027 PDP ticket already out of reach for ex-VP. Mocks ADC coalition, calls it refuge for desperate political nomads. And of course, if you recall events of the 2023 presidential election, you would know why FCT Minister Nyesom Wike is speaking this way. It's almost like, pouting at the former VP following those events. Recall that, of course, he wanted to be the candidate of the party himself. And of course, after he lost out on that, he perhaps wanted also to be the running mate to the former vice president, but he lost out on all fronts on that. Is this some form of payback time, or there are more issues to this than what we're hearing the FCT minister say as far as the PDP is concerned?
Yes, it's more or less of payback time, because the reason why he's having this platform, of course, because he's our FCT minister and the resources is there. Of course, telling Atiku that is running from pillar to post is everybody have their personal ambitions, and just like he has pitched his tent with APC. Remember, the minister of FCT once called APC, the party with cancer, that is better I stay in a party that has malaria than going to a family that has cancer. But that's where he has pitched his tent for now. And those politicians that say ADC, that they came together, they are desperate, doing all that in their ego. Don't let us forget that even APC rose to this position to being in this government as a result of merger coming together and all of that. So, he has his own opinion and is giving them back to back. Just like I want to subscribe to what Jeff said while you people are doing analysis that PDP, they are like a dog without the tooth for now. If you are backing and there's no effect to it, if minister is for you, make it clear. If it's not for you, then easy math. But the decision is left for them to do. If not, you continue to hold them. You continue to fight them from every known and cranny of any atmosphere or platform that he has.
There you go. The Guardian newspaper, Mr. Fetayo, has this one, still on politics really. Desperation heightens as 2027 campaign begins. Now that's in quote, 15 months ahead. It's a page 6 read, and you see, the frontliners from the previous election. But there's one man who is not a frontliner, but he's very, very important to the outcome of the election, except that he'll be leaving office very soon, and that's the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. But others are politicians, the president, former vice president, former presidential candidate, and of course, our MK right there. So there are those who say, come on, do not be naive. Campaigns begin the moment you even win the election, before you are even sworn in. Campaign for the next election begins. So why is everybody acting like you don't know the drill? But some others say, well, nah, that is not the case. There should be time for campaign. That's why there's a timetable. And there's a time for governance. Where do you stand on this one? Or sit, as the case may be?
Yes, most of them, they flout the electoral laws which stipulate time for campaign, time for electioneering. But because of what is going on, people are preparing and to make sure that they take over the power, whether the incumbents want to remain or the coalition, they want to swing a surprise. So I'm not surprised. It's just that it takes so much time that even the incumbent can use to provide or give the dividends of democracy to Nigerians than involving so much in the politics. And of course, the INEC chairman, Professor Yakubu, has a key role to play. I just wish, whether you are incumbent or not, whether you are INEC chairman or not, if they can bequeath a free and fair and credible election to the nation, and you will not be forgotten. There's a proverb in Yoruba that says, the king that rules and the town are celebrating, people will never forget, and the one that rules and people are languishing in pain and all of that, they will never forget. I just wish all of this will snowball to good governance, will snowball to better agenda for the Nigeria, the masses, of course.
All right,
let's for their own ambitions alone.
Let's get to the very next paper. You know, Mr. Fatah, you know, sometimes when we talk, I just remember that in the Constitution, you know, there's this unwritten agreement. Is it unwritten agreement? Yes, it's an unwritten agreement. The North will do 8 years, the South will do 8 years, will keep oscillating that way. But according to our law, the only guaranteed term of any leader, governor, and president, and the rest of them is 4 years. You now seek re-election if the people choose you. But somehow we've made it 8 years, knowingly or unknowingly, and that is in itself affecting the polity, as a matter of fact. I just wanted to highlight all of that according to law. But, you know, just for fairness and stability, this is why this conversation is quite important. Let's go to the Daily Independent newspaper. 712 billion naira outrageous for airport renovation. Aviation experts ask federal government to concession airports or engage in public-private partnership. And MMI, okay, Murtala Mohammed International Airport, full renovation, most expensive in the world. Clear sign of government wickedness of the people. That's according to the Labour Party. So there's been a lot of flax against the ministry and the government for intending to spend almost $500 million. That's the equivalent in dollar terms now to renovate. In fact, I listened to the minister. He said it's not just, it's like, for instance, the first Terminal 1 of the international airport will be literally brought down to the skeletons, if you will, and then Terminal 2 will be expanded. I looked at the architectural design. It's quite beautiful, the expansion and all of that. But where people have a lot of problem is the amounts to be spent. The people want to see the BOQ, the bill of quantity. What was the bidding process? Is there another cesspool for corruption? Or this is what it, because they call it smart airport. They want to make it a transit hub. There's this ambitious thing they want to do. Some people are saying, why don't we partner with the private sector to take off that wage bill from the federal government? What do you make of all of this, you know, all sides of the conversation? Mr. Fetayo.
Yes, over 700 billion is so much ambition. And like they said, I think when government want to embark on such a project, all the stakeholders should be brought in. Like they talk about public and private partnership, and they should look into that. If aviation experts are saying that the money you want to use for this is outrageous, but you know, in government, whatever that benefit them most, that's what they do. You remember when they put in our budget over, was it over 200 million to install one solar street light? So I'm not surprised with these humongous figures. And even if that money can even give you a fantastic new airport, but that's not the question for this money. I think the government should look inward. If experts in the aviation sector are criticizing the amount you want to earmark for renovation, I think they should call them, and that's what shows a leader. When you think you are not getting it, bring in people. We don't say it should be an island of knowledge. You have expertise, you have stakeholders, involve them so that you can get the best out of it and give Nigeria a good output for whatever the naira and kobo. I just wish that this money will not end up in some private pocket, and of course, it should be scrutinized. No wonder the Labour Party are saying that there is a clear signal of recklessness in the part of the administration. I think the federal government should sit down, look inward, review it, and then move forward and come out with a better fund or renovation they want to have, no matter how fantastic the design may be.
And so the next paper this morning doubles down on politics, you know, with a an interesting twist to it, Mr. Ifetayo. Look at New Telegraph this morning. Southwest will suffer withdrawal syndrome if Tinubu leaves office in 2027. And that's ascribed to Oshun. And there are some insights here. We trust Nigerians to renew Tinubu's mandate. APC, that's ascribed to APC, says ADC parades oversized ego, of course, which speaks to the pattern of the conversation over the past couple of months, particularly since the coalition adopted the ADC as its party. But there's one more rider here. North got over 50% of 2024 and 2025 project allocations. That's according to the Budget Office. And the Minister of Works is also speaking here. Southeast has fair share of renewed agenda road works. So a lot of, if you like, ethnic politics, dotting this particular headline from the New Telegraph. But speak to both. One part being about projects and how it has been distributed, and the other part being about the implications of the outcome of the 2027 presidential election, which is about 15 to 16 months away, by the way.
Yes, I will start with project distribution. It's just in a response to maybe about 2 weeks ago when Kwankwaso was saying that the North has not really benefited from the program of this current administration, and the budget office are saying, look, even in 2024 and 2025, the North, they got little above 50%. So that's to put that to rest. And as well, of course, we are saying that the Constitution stipulated 4 years for one term. Then if you want to seek a re-election, but there's this a kind of, should I call it maybe moral conversation or moral agreement that if North has done 8 years, you allow the South to do 8 years. What I'm saying for ADC to put their house in order, they need to come and let us know where are they zoning their own presidential candidate to, where are they zoning the chairman to, so what are they bringing on board? It's not just that we are coming to wrestle power or to chase away or to remove by the virtue of election the current administration. So let's know the agenda, let's know your plan, let's know what you want to do for Nigeria that will be different from what is obtainable. And of course, he who pays the piper will dictate the tune. Those who are calling ADC frustrated politician or desperate politician, you don't expect them to say otherwise, because they need to protect where their monthly income is coming from. So Nigeria is just to decide. That's why I'm just praying that all the stakeholders involved, the security, the INEC, and all of that, we just give Nigeria a better election. Let's at least for once, after 1993, let's have a fairest and credible election. That's what Nigerians are praying for, regardless of their politics they are doing for now.
All right, Mr. Ifetayo, thank you so much for your insight. As always, our job is to bring you to the fore, all of these conversations. Particularly, we just want formidable parties, ruling, opposition, as formidable as they can get. But as we've seen, political hot air is going on. The real game is going on the ground, and then it will eventually emerge to the surface when we separate the boys from the men, participants from contenders, and those days are coming closer than we expected. Literally overshadowing governance, the conversation around governance, and that's not good for our polity. But we must thank you for your insight, as always, for bringing your perspective to the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back after the break, we'll get to the conversation for the day. We'll start with the Labour Party. Mr. Peter Obiah said he wants to serve one term. And the reason perhaps is to the effect that 8 years of Muhammadu Buhari, the power is supposed to remain in the south, so that it goes back to the north in 2031. But is that true? Can it be trusted? It has generated a lot of controversy and conversations. That's what we're having next right here on the program. Join us again.
Welcome back. And so we begin with party politics, zeroing in on, of course, on Mr. Peter Obi's declaration, and he's doubling down on it, that he's committed to one-term presidency if elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But there are also, of course, other concerns coming through from the Labour Party, particularly as they have to do with INEC's de-recognizing of the Abure faction for the by-election. But let's begin with Mr. Peter Obi's opposition. And joining us on this particular one is the National Publicity Secretary, of course, of one group of the party, Mr. Arabambi. Thank you so much for coming through on this conversation.
Yeah, good morning, Nigerians, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
First of all, let's begin with Mr. Peter Obi's position to you know, do one term if elected president. Of course, your group has reacted to it, and a lot of, you know, the filtering through is to the effect that he's not sincere. But let's look at his why. Is it not genuine enough, you know, a commitment to servant leadership?
Well, thank you very much. We, from our own perspective, anybody that trusted Peter Obi, you know, with whatever he says, meaning that that person is trusting the ability, you know, of Satan to prepare dinner, will now invite Jesus Christ and the disciple to come and dine with him. Between him and Victor Ume, he made a promise during his campaign. He would die in Afghan. He's not going to leave Afghan. He left Peter Ume in that party and crossed to PDP. So a man who will go, you know, and say such a thing against himself outside, while Victor Ume was by his side, said Abga made him everything, and he would never leave them. He would rather die in Abga than for him to leave. But today, he was a former member of Abga, former member of PDP, former member of Labour Party. Now, whether Chris Cousin between...
resigned from the Labour Party now.
Whether no, his tenancy has expired. I'll go to that. His tenancy has expired. Now, moving between ADC and some other ADC or SDP, you know, he knows the party is coming out, you know, true. But nobody, like I said, should just openly trust, you know, Peter Obi because of his antecedents. Nobody forces him to say he will not leave Afghan. But there was an issue between him and Ume over the conduct of local government election then, which he did 3 months to the expiration of his tenure. And that was, you know, what caused their separation. And he now left and, you know, he went to PDP. From PDP, you know what happened? He came to our party 2 days to expiration of a presidential primary in Asaba. We gave him the ticket, but the rest is history. You see the way he's also trying to hijack Labour, like Senator Victor Ume, you know, resisted him then, because I remember I have the video here where the man said, we told him he can't be ordering us around because you are governor, you have money, and you want to be ordering us around. We told him that no, the answer is capital no, and he left them. But today they are co-travelers with Senator Victor Ume. You know, in this they are targeted to make Nigeria ungovernable. They are all co-travelers now. So we are not going to trust him because it is impossible for Satan to not be preaching to people, come and take dinner. Jesus, come with your disciples. There are 2 parallel lines that can never meet. So Obi cannot be telling Nigerians that, oh, don't worry, I will do one single term. When that Benicio, with his own mouth, that he will die inside Africa, he's not going to live, you know, praising Ojuku Kemba, that respected Igbo leader. But today, where is
But what
Peter
if his
Obi?
political convictions have changed, and many now see him through different eyes as an elder statesman who is committed to the people, and by every action, especially since the 2023 presidential election, he has proven that he indeed identifies with the people, and he believes that everything that an elected president can do in 8 years, he can do in 4 years. And if you look at the reasons he has cited, he says is in line with justice and what, you know, other leaders who are respected globally have done. He also cited late Nelson Mandela of South Africa. Isn't that a pride to the Labour Party?
You see, it's an insult for Peter Obi to compare himself to Nelson Mandela. It's an insult. They are just 2 parallel that can never meet. Here was a man who could not even build Labour Party. You have heard him when he said he is not here to build Labour Party, he only wants to build Nigeria. He said it openly, that he doesn't have any business building Labour Party, and that is exactly what he's doing today. A party that made him what he was today, because he ran under PDP. But you know, during the NSAS, there was agitation by the youth. They were against the maladministration of 8 years of Baba Bubu. They were tired of PDP, and they saw the only option in Labour Party. And that was what, you know, he rode on. But for him to now be comparing himself to another statesman, I think we have to look inward. For any husband and wife, I think they will know themselves better than, you know, this most screen attitude of I am a good husband and I am a good wife outside. They will know themselves better. We know Peter Obi better even than his wife. We know him better than his wife because he has shown us shaggy in that Labour Party. What he did in Labour Party, in fact, people like us, I didn't even believe anybody can graduate for me because I am a street person. But Peter Obi successfully, you know, attempted to destroy our party and, you know, to make us look regional. Here is a man, I said it on this TV station when he populated our campaign council with one side of the country when I said no. But today, he's the same man saying, oh, I cannot be president from the south and the chairman will be from the south. And this was my objection in 2022. That he said, no, that is what we want to do it, where we have the secretary, the DG of the campaign, you know, from Anambra, director of finance from Imo. We told him that, come, why can't we make a northerner our director, the secretary general of the campaign, because we'll be campaigning in the north. Most of the northern people, let them hear from their subject. He said, no, they will be interpreting. How can he now want to build Nigeria?
Oh, but Mr. Arabambi,
it is impossible for him to promise, you know, he can build Nigeria. It is impossible.
Right. Just to put a couple of things in perspective. First, you alluded to the fact that, or you said that Labour Party made him. Like, yes. Labour Party was already a party to beat a big party, so he didn't make the Labour Party. Labour Party made him.
Yes, of course.
So isn't it ironic that you expect him to build a party that you already said is made? So I don't know why you expect that. That's on the one hand. I mean, secondly, saying you know him better than his wife, Mr. Arabambi, come on. A person's wife stays with him more than any other person, except you stay with him more than his wife. Maybe that's something you might want to share with Nigerians. But just to put it in proper context, so people know that, okay, you're not saying it literally in that sense. It's probably just figurative, really. But maybe you want to respond to those questions. But the important part is this. So what exactly is going on with the Labour Party? Because he says he has not left the Labour Party, but you are saying something about tenancy. I don't quite understand. He still says he's in the Labour Party. We've seen his deputy, that's a former vice presidential candidate of your party, going around and saying, well, Mr. Peter Obi is aware of this and is meeting with Labour Party officials. So what exactly is this tenancy bit all about? Are you the landlord? Is it the tenant?
No, we are the landlord, of course. This is my 18 years in Labour Party. We are the landlord.
So when is the landlord expecting tenants to build the house?
No, thank you very much. That's why we said this tenancy has expired. Now, a man who came to a Labour Party, you know, I am on national TV. Obi became a president candidate, and everything he done in that party is to the tune of 32 million naira. 32 million naira.
Million or billion?
32 million.
Like the money he spent?
For his, you know, nomination, from which the party now gave all the delegates money that day. He was not the only one that paid. We have a young nurse, Faduri Joseph, who also made payment. Dr. Padi told me, you know, make a payment, and one other woman. He came, I know, they were asked to step down for him, which they did. But you know what now transpired? Everybody know that acronyms with Labour Party. We know they spend shishi. No Kobo or Peter Obi came into Labour Party. To any of our candidates, you can ask them. No Kobo, I know the number of meetings we did. He did not support the party or the candidate, not even at the ward with one Kobo. But this is what he did. As at the time, there was an issue between Apapa and Julius Abure. They went to US. They went to Indonesia with him and they raised money But you see, just like I said, I never believe, anybody can carry me as a mugun. Honestly. The money came. The party did not know. They went to open an account. That was why you see Aisha Yusuf was making all this noise about Peter Obi. Aisha Yusuf and Atiku Godalo, they were the two people that superintended over the party finances without the party, knowing. It was at the point of withdrawing money, both naira and dollar, that they came to the party. I am going to challenge him. They should bring the letter. They opened the account before they came to obtain letter of introduction. I repeat, they opened an account in 4 bank, though it's before, this matter, we also take some say about, I will not mention those banks, but we know the bank and the account number. So what now transfer was that they came, and the two of them superintended over our finances. And that was why Obi planned with those two people to rig Labour Party in the 2023 election. Because how can we go? You want to contest against Atiku and the Tinubu of this world. You differentiate yourself of 54,000 polling unit agents out of 189. You now went to court without a result because they did not pay the agent, despite all the money, because he said, oh, we don't spend shishi. But you also, when Obi said he spent 800 million on litigation, I put it to him that they did that case for him pro bono. Pro bono. Obi did not spend anything. So how could you just come into the party? You deceive us, every one of us put in our might. Only for us to know that they just came, to do whatever they want to do. Even in Nedo, our candidate for the governorship was Olumide Akpata. Do you know that Atiku Godalo, that pastor, did not vote for Olumide Akpata? He rather went on a sojourn with his brother elsewhere. These are the people that will be parading even with Aisha Yusufu. They were the one that is keeping Labour Party money. And that was where Tanko came out to say, Obi had donated over 600 and something million in a year. Where did he get that money? Obi has never.
Donated to what?
No, he said, the donation, he's the chairman of the obedience something. He said Obi donated money, to all those churches, schools.
Yes,
to the tune of,
IDP camps.
Yes.
He said, all of them, he said to tune of 600 and something million. Okay. But I want to tell you that Peter Obi, even as far as Labour Party is concerned, never traded such an amount with us. So that was when we now got to know a presidential candidate that is receiving a lot on party fund. The secretary, does he have access to it? The chairman does not have access. That is the man that wants to govern Nigeria. With Aisha Yusufu. Aisha Yusufu can never depart from Peter Obi.
But Aisha Yusufu has given an account of the spendings of the party during the 2023 presidential election.
That is not the way to give an account. When you are presenting, all of us went to school, you don't present such an account. Obi just this on 4 lines, you say, oh, this is what I get. What about the people they paid money to? We know it, you see. We are only waiting for 2027 to start.
So hold on. So let's be clear so that you put your thought in context. So what are you contending with, and what exactly is it? So you say he hasn't spent the money, or he didn't spend the money as claimed. So how much did he spend? How much did he claim he spent? What do you know that the public is not privy to?
I said Peter Obi never expended any money inside Labour Party other than the 32 million. Every other money.
So the 700 or 600 he said he spent in the contest, in the campaign. No,
it's not in the primary. Donations, the schools, the nurses.
No, that's a different kettle of fish. That's his personal life.
No, it's not personal. It is Labour Party money. It's not personal. Obi has never donated money to anybody.
I don't know.
You can bring it. No, you can bring it up because I am aware of Kanu Wako in 1990 when he said he went to meet him for donation to the Kanu Foundation. He said this money is not for public use.
So the ones he went to donate that, okay, let's be clear. This is not my line of argument or the question. The face-off he had with the governor of Edo State, where the governor was saying, where did you have 15 million? Are you saying he didn't donate that money? Are those the monies you're talking about? You're talking about political money? What exactly?
The political money is what himself, Aisha Yusufu.
So let's stay with the political money. You're delving into charity or donations.
No, that was Labour Party money. Are you getting me? That somehow he managed you know, to corner to himself, and that is why you see.
What you're saying? So hold on. What,
yes.
If I understand, you are saying that the monies that were donated to him during the elections, he held it back.
He held it back,
and that's why what he's using.
And that's why we failed that election.
Hold on. Let's take it one at a time. Sorry, sir. Just hold on. The money he collected, donates. I want to be sure we understand.
Yes, the money
that he collected from donations for his election is now what he's using for.
I have some of them here.
Mr. Arami, is what he's now using for charity.
Yes, I have some.
The man is a billionaire. I hope you're aware of that.
Which billionaire? Where did he get the billion from?
Can you provide Nigerians proof that the monies Peter Obi is spending now on the charity that you're talking about actually belong to the Labour Party? What's the proof that you can provide Nigerians?
Another set of questions.
You see,
I wanted him to be clear on this.
In Austin, US, they donated $80,000. Dallas, $75,000.
Okay.
North Carolina, $110,000. New York, $150,000. You understand? We have like that. Why I say, see, he will meet us in court. All this money, our agents were not paid, and that was why they now decided to impugn on the integrity of our judiciary.
So your Mr. Arami, I'm sorry, your submission, so that, you know why I'm taking you one step at a time, so that the audience will not be confused whether we're all over the place. Your submission is to the effect that monies were donated to Peter Obi for the election. And because
to the party.
Yes, whether for
to
him
Labour
or the
party,
to the presidential,
for the presidential election or the election in general.
Yes.
So you said, because he said he doesn't spend shishi, he kept that money.
Completely.
And your submission now is that you believe those money that he did not spend for agent and all of that is what he's now using for charitable causes.
100%. Two, that was why he rigged Labour Party out of that election. I am not going to believe in that.
And the election, he intended to win?
No, he intended to lose the election. That is why I said, you know, the man just used some, like I said, I don't believe, I'm a street guy. Honestly, I don't believe that at this stage, somebody can even move me. I don't believe. But you see, there was a man, we are saying fact, in those accounts, Aisha Yusufu is not an officer of the NWC. Itu Agadano is not an officer of the NWC. But they raised this money, they now went to those banks to open an account. It was at the point of withdrawal that they came to the party. You know, I'm repeating it. But let me challenge them. Let Peter Obi bring the letter the party gave him. It's different from the name they used to open the account in this country.
In total, how much do you think came for the campaigns? How much was released? How much is the balance? So I'm asking my question deliberately.
Obi is still keeping about 12 billion with him.
He's keeping how much?
He's still keeping about 12 billion. This is not
you know this is a serious allegation, right?
Can Obi go to Obi to challenge me in court?
Okay.
Even all the lawyers that went to court, let me tell you, they deceived Nigerians. Do you know? They know the first schedule of the Electoral Act, chapter 4, 5, 6, that when you are filing a petition, you have to go in with all your evidence in the resource sheet. They went into that tribunal without any, because the people they are supposed to pay 10,000, they didn't pay them, which they also agreed that they didn't have money. So how do you now go before judges and say, oh, we are the winner of that election, knowing fully well that the law said that you must tabulate your result to prove to the judge, oh, this is what I have, this is what Atiku has, this is what Peter Obi has. Let me bust your brain now. Do you know that we didn't challenge Atiku?
You can't bust my brain.
Do you know we didn't challenge Atiku election result in the court?
Atiku didn't win the election, so why would you challenge him?
Oh, so when you go to court and you are now suing number one, it has admittance that the vote due to number two is correct in law. Because unchallenged evidence before a court of law is a Supreme Court judgment. It is admissible as fact. So if you are not challenging Atiku result, how can you now be challenging the result of APC in every of the polling unit ascribed to PDP? That is number one.
So you're confusing me already. So
no, I said
I don't understand.
In law, when you don't controvert a fact placed by your opponent in the court, if your opponent say, oh, your cloth is white and blue, and he now file that preliminary rejection, if you don't file your counter before the judgment, it is deemed that always you will be wearing black. You wear black and white. You cannot win that case because the judge will ask you that you did not controvert the evidence of this man, and you let it unchallenged.
In simple terms, so somebody won the election. He said he also won the election.
Very good.
Atiku also won it. Atiku didn't challenge Peter Obi, did he? Atiku challenged.
No, Atiku cannot be challenging the third person.
Okay. but he was challenging the winner.
It's actually the same.
It's the same thing.
No. It's not the same thing.
No, because he's also admitting that those votes.
You said?
Are you a lawyer?
I can argue that. I have.
Okay.
Are you a lawyer?
So
I have two.
Here's what we'll do.
Because Nigeria is here.
No, it's not
I
about.
have the electoral act,
no,
and I have Pretoria of Judgment of Supreme Court.
It's not about Peter B or Atiku.
No, I said lawyers are listening to me.
It's jurisprudence here.
Yes, I said when you fail to, controvert a fact placed before a court of law, you will lose that matter.
Gentlemen, I think both of you should get a law degree at this point. So but I need to be clear two things. First, some of the checks that we've seen Mr. Peter Obi give, they have his name on the symbolic check given. So that's probably money coming from his account.
They were transferred to him by Aisha Yusuf and
So are you ready to provide evidence?
You said, I said, we are writing. I told you now. Okay. I told you when we came in.
Secondly,
he's going to face massive, court issues with
all
us.
right. Secondly,
massive one.
Who is the publicity secretary of the Labour Party, Mr. Arabambi? Is it Mr. Obiorifo or you? Who is the publicity secretary?
I told you something the last time I came. I said, we have a leadership of a party, and our constitution. Constitution that is being challenged, by this group of political dissidents. This Nenadi Usman, Obi and co. That was why, when the coast is clear for us, we are before. Okay, I think we've gone through Supreme Court now. Once the coast is clear, we are still waiting for INEC to take their decision. Though they said they don't know what they are supposed to do since April. This is August. But I think our constitution, they have not accepted the constitution. But as I said, I remain, the valid National Public Secretary.
So it's not Mr. Obiora?
Yes.
It's not Mr. Obiora. And of course, you're also challenging Madam Aisha Yesufu for a public statement made in a viral video. You're also taking them herself alongside Mr. Peter Obi to court on this particular one, right?
Yes. They were not the one who would go to court. It is just another mandamus which I have discussed with 2SN to let them come and explain why Aisha Yesufu will have the audacity to refer to the present administration as illegitimate. Because as far as we are concerned, when a president or a winner has been declared by INEC, it's open to challenge in the court of law. Our Supreme Court cannot declare President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a duly elected president, and Aisha Yesufu will sit down somewhere and be telling Nigerians that, Tinubu is an illegitimate president. She has the right to go and drop Nigerian green passport and take out whatever passport she wants to take. But it is unheard of for a Nigerian who knows that he has an obligation and right. It's your obligation to Constitution of Nigeria that will accord you the right as a citizen.
So in closing, Bukola, so is the Labour Party presenting a candidate in this election?
Yes, of course, from the south.
By the way, the last time you were here, you said the party was going to meet to deliberate on the expulsion of Mr. Peter Obi. That has not been done. Yeah,
because he sent Dati Ahmed to come and plead on his behalf. That's why Dati Ahmed came into that NWC meeting.
This is getting interesting.
That's not what we hear from the other.
No, I am telling you that he sent him. After that, has he not going to see Dati Ahmed in his house? We will have expelled him, but he said he's coming to atone. He has a lot of things to atone for because he committed a lot of sin in Labour Party and need to come. In fact, especially this one that they say they are planning to overthrow, a democratic elected president. We don't want them to use Labour Party. They can go and use ADC platform, that they are band of coalition party. They can go and use it, but we don't want anybody to now give us a bad name in Nigeria that, maybe we are a party that are, political party, maybe that is political party agitators. We are not agitators. We are just political party that want to seek election. But as far as we are concerned, we want to challenge President Bola Tinubu in an election in 2027. Not that we will allow anybody to plan an insurrection to remove him.
This is clearly an ongoing conversation. Of course, we're going to give a right of reply to all the parties that have been named in this particular one. But we must thank you very much, Mr.
But let them bring document, please.
Arabambi is the National Publicity Secretary of one group of the Labour Party. Thank you so much for coming through on this one.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
We're not quite done with the Labour Party yet. We're going to be speaking with Mr. Obiorifo right after this time out, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, we're done with Ms. Arabambi. Let's talk to another publicity secretary of the Labour Party, Ms. Obiora Ifo. Joins us virtually. Ms. Ifo, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Ms. Obiora, I think the natural place to start is Ms. Arabambi says the validly elected National Publicity Secretary. So what does that leave you as?
Mr. Arabambi was the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party and is a well-respected elder and leader of the Labour Party. And I'm sure you heard him very, very well. He's waiting for the Supreme Court and INEC to make final declaration. Give it to him. He was a very good representative of Labour Party while he was the publicity secretary. But I'm sure you are aware we had a convention that brought a new set of leadership. I think we should just rest it there. There's no controversy, no drama at all.
No, there's clearly controversy. You cannot have two people on one show one time, the same hour, literally saying they are National Publicity Secretary. But that's not what we want to dwell on. We just needed to be clear to the Nigerians that Labour Party has two people jostling for who is the National Publicity Secretary. But let's talk about why we invited you, and that has to do with the by-elections that are coming later on in the month, that you've done a presser responding to INEC not recognizing candidates that were fielded from the Abure-led group of the Labour Party. What did INEC give as an explainer to why your candidate from your end were not recognized? And are there other candidates that are recognized for that election?
Okay, I'll take it from the last one. If there are any other candidates that were recognized, the answer is no. And why has INEC not recognized our candidates, our nominated candidates? That is to be answered by INEC. Because as far as I'm concerned, the constitution of the party and the electoral law says that political party must nominate, shall nominate candidates for elections. And we have done our primaries and candidates emerged and we submitted. But when INEC published their list, which we saw in the social media, we found out that Labour Party and maybe one or two other parties were not represented. So we've since written to INEC to tell us or advise us what to do. And as usual tantrum nature, they have refused to answer us. They have refused to say anything to the party. And we are still wondering why INEC should be taking laws into their hands. Because for a party to field candidates, first, you must write to INEC, at least 21 days to the election. And Labour Party fulfilled their own requirement, as stated in the electoral law. The electoral law didn't say that INEC shall choose to or not to attend. It is incumbent of them. It is mandatory for INEC to monitor primaries leading to elections. So for any reason why they have chosen not to monitor primaries, they should come out and tell Nigerians. And they don't just keep silent. Don't just keep in abeyance over 10,000 members of the party that are waiting for you to speak out. So that is why we did a statement and said that it was unlawful, it was a show of unnecessary strength, it was an abuse of power. And Labour Party has decided to go further than that. We have a duty to present candidates, and we cannot at this point disappoint our members, particularly the candidates. So that's my take on that.
So, Mrs. Nenadi Usman, that's the leader of the other group, has since reacted to this, saying that this shows that the decision of INEC indicating that the regulatory body is now ready to implement the April 4 2025 judgment of the Supreme Court lauding INEC's decision. I'd like you to react to that. But on the other hand, did INEC's de-recognition of your candidates for the by-election also mean or indicate a recognition of the candidates of the other group? Did INEC recognize the candidates of the other group?
No, not at all. Like I said earlier, INEC did not receive any nomination from anybody or any quarter for the by-elections. And if there is any quarter they need to receive nomination, is from Julius Abure-led National Working Committee. And I'm not aware that the other group did anything. And in all the states, I'm not also aware that they did any primaries. And they don't have to, because they don't even have the locus to do any primaries, because they are not elected by the party to represent the party as executive. And like I said, the party is not taking it lightly. And as in the recognizing, they don't even have the power to recognize a group of persons that emerged, that put themselves together and came up to call themselves any name whatsoever, without following the due process as laid down in the party constitution, or even respecting the constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria that says that for you to convene any meeting, it has to be from the national secretary and the national chairman of the party. So they don't even have the locus. You know, this crisis has been lingering because some people have refused to look at the constitution of either the Nigeria constitution, the electoral law, or even the party constitution. Power, unfortunately, to convene any meeting for Labour Party lies in the hands of the national secretary and the national chairman, and they have not done that. So it is such a way that if national secretary and national chairman agree on anything, and the rest of the executives do not, the other side, national chairman and secretary, will carry. That's like what happened in our sister party, the PDP. You understand, of everything, all the noise and everything, the party, the INEC still insists that the name of the national secretary and the national chairman, as specified, as written, as sent to them, must appear in every document that the party is sending. So the party is supreme. Let us even go back to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court made it clear that the party is supreme, and the party has every mechanism to resolve its crisis. And he has told everyone that cares to listen that we need to come back together as a party, use the internal mechanism already stated in the Constitution to resolve our matter. There's some people who still do not understand. Okay. The Supreme Court said that the judgment that we are giving was based on lack of jurisdiction by the lower court and the appeal court to even entertain that itself. The Supreme Court cannot even entertain the matter because no court in Nigeria lacks, every court in no court has jurisdiction to even entertain any matter that concerns internal party crisis or matter.
If you can hear me, Ms. Obiora, I wish we had more time, would have taken all of the perspective, but this is noted as an ongoing conversation. We clearly remember what happened with the Ondo election, where Mr. Olorunfemi, then it was Mr. Adisemi, and then back to Olorunfemi a day before, and the abysmal outcome of that election for the Labour Party. Perhaps INEC is looking at all of this. We do not know. But INEC will be able to respond. Thank you for coming, and I think you've made your points clear now on air to INEC. I'm sure they will be responding to your concerns and the party. Obiora Efo is the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party on one group, who we must add that part, because Arabambi is also holding to that position. Thank you. We appreciate it. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk sports. Sheo Diko and coach of the Victorious, the Tigress, will be joining us as we explore. And then we have more politics after that. Join us again.
It's a celebration galore here in Nigeria, particularly with sports. Well, let me just say women's sports. And it's so beautiful to see women doing our nation proud, flying the flag high. We're joined on the program by the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Mr. Shehu Diko, and the victorious coach of the D Tigress, Coach Rena Wakama. Lady and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I know it was a long night yesterday celebrating, but we're glad that you're able to join us to speak about this victory. Coach Wakama, let me begin with you. You know, one of the memories I have of you is, I think it was during an international match. I'm trying to remember which country we're playing against, and you rallied your girls together and told them, you know what? You are not your enemies. The opponent is the enemy. I think that was last year or 2 years ago. And I started taking note of your coaching style, the way you're able to rally the girls together, motivate them, push them. It is beautiful to see. So let me just ask you this straight up. How does it feel seeing your hard work paying off yet again?
It feels amazing. Good morning, everybody. We're happy to be home. We're happy to be able to win another cup and bring it back to you guys. Thank you again to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Tinubu, our First Lady, Diko, our chairman. This has been an amazing welcome home, and we're so happy.
We are happy to receive you. We're going to talk more, but let me speak to the chairman since you mentioned him. Chairman, what exactly is, I don't know, to call it the secret. Some say it's just happening. It's been years of build-up, but under you, the Super Falcons have done Mission X, the D Tigress, Mission V. Well, we hope the Super Eagles, or first the D Tigers, who are starting their own competition soon, would nick another one. But maybe tell us, how does it feel? And is there a secret? Do you take credit for this?
Well, you know, I don't know. Definitely when you are leading something and it's working well, there has to be something you're doing right. But really, it's a collective effort by everybody who is involved. Our job basically is to lead, is to make sure we put everybody in the right boxes and give the right enablers for the people to do what they have to do and to explore. And so that's what we are doing. You know, we are being very, very intentional and very, very deliberate about what we are doing, making sure we improve from where we are coming from. For example, before the Tigers left for Cote d'Ivoire, you know, they were in the office, we had the meeting, discussed the issues, tried to resolve all the mitigating issues, tried to make everybody to have a clear head that, look, we are having a new narrative, we are going in a new direction, and let everybody just do what they have to do, and we too will do what we have to do. And so everybody was happy, everybody is believing that there is a new trajectory. President Bola Tinubu is bringing a new vibe, a new drive into the sports sector. Which we are fortunate to be given the opportunity to lead. So definitely we are doing something very, very right. That's why we are getting this trajectory. And earlier before, you can see, even though we are winning trophies, but there's a lot of toxicity around it, there's a lot of unhappiness around it. But now at least we are eliminating those issues and giving everybody to be happy to give their best 101% for the country. And now the president have elevated the whole thing much, much higher. Now everybody knows that if I put my feet for the country will back you up. Every step you go, the country is behind you. So that's the way to go. And so we are doing our own part as the commission, as the regulators of sports in the country, make sure everything works well. As you said, as we speak, we already have our Tigers in town already. The two are preparing for their next battle in a couple of weeks. So we are all putting everything that we have to do to make sure it's delivered. And we are eliminating all the negatives and the toxicity that comes with our sports before, making everything look more positive. You can see brands now. Last night, we didn't sleep much. We are coaches are aware, we are all awake because there's a brand that comes through to say, look, let's host you and celebrate you. And it was a very, very brilliant celebration. The girls were very happy. The coach was very happy. All of us were able to wind down and say, look, yes, we have done something for the country. So perfect for now, at least.
Coach Renner, it's good to see you, and I wonder if you got feelers. We were celebrating your victory right here on this set yesterday, and of course, reflecting on your own personal achievements. The first female coach to lead the Tigresses to victory since 1966, and this back-to-back victory, you also take credit for it. And our correspondent was speaking to your style, but we want to hear from you about your trade secrets. Tell us what it is that you do differently that makes the Tigresses bring us victory time and again.
I can't give out all my secrets, but I'll just tell you guys, I lead with passion and purpose. I lead with passion and purpose. And when you do those two things, it's easy for people to follow you. I'm relatable with my players, but I also have a great group of staff around me. It takes a village for girls to be successful in sports, and you need a great team to help you push your mission forward. So thank you to my assistant coaches, Wani Mungazi, Michelle. They all are brilliant in their own way, and we together were able to make history once again.
I know that, let me bring this to Mr. Diko. One of the reasons now for this conversation is to the fact that post-victory structures is what we are more interested in. The largesse has come for the girls, both for the Falcons and the Tigress. And so some of us were waiting to see, okay, is the president going to do it in equal measure? And well, he didn't disappoint. Of course, he's gotten flags and praises for those moves. But beyond that, we're talking about issues of structures, issues around facilities, issues around the league itself. So what are you putting forward, both for, especially for since the Tigress is the latest conversation? I don't know how much of Nigeria is a basketball country, but these ladies have shown that whatever it is, we can prove our worth despite the circumstances we find ourselves. So what are the immediate things you're planning to do to make the league in Nigeria as viable, competitive, robust as possible so that we have a lot of these ladies being churned out to give us more victories?
Yeah, of course. You know, if you have followed yesterday, my opening remarks at the Villa, it's very clear that we are not taking our eyes off the ball because, yes, we are winning at this elite level, but we have to, part of our vision is to go back to ground zero, to go back to domestic development, to reset our focus and make sure that we are developing for the ground zero. And so at the moment, like basketball, for example, we are having a very nice conversation with the federation to see how we can come together and get back the league, the basketball league back the way it should be, get it to be played the way it should be played. But you know that even before, the disruption they had was because of external issues within the contending parties that have drilled the basketball that way. But we are putting all the structures that we have to put. President Bola and Tinubu has approved at least funding in the budget of this year to make sure that we have massive infrastructures across the country. We have to repair all of our infrastructures at the elite level, at the National Stadium, concession the National Stadium in Lagos and other stadiums which they are working, and also build across the country. There's a budget to build a lot of like community facilities, sports centers and everywhere across the country, so we have the right infrastructure to do that. And then also as a commission, we are focused a lot on also development. Because these Tigers, the Tigers will go tomorrow. There has to be a meal where we are having new talents that come on the scene that can be able to replace them so we can sustain this winning and these structures. Just last month, we have the national under-19 basketball team that participated at the World Cup in Czech Republic, and they tried to get the experience at the global level. They defeated China, which is very, I think, amazing at that moment. So we are building that for the future. Also, generally about sports, we are doing the same thing. Just a week or two ago, we finished the Africa Athletics under-18, under-20 championship, where we brought the young athletes across Africa to give them the exposure and the competition that we have. We have 45 countries there. At the moment, we have the Nigerian youth athletes. They are competing in Algeria across many sports. Over 100 athletes are competing in the Africa Youth Game in Algeria. Also, we are putting that building for the future, bringing new talents across all sports that will sustain the process. And that will give the leagues where they are doing more focus. Even now, at the moment, we have the university students. They're in Germany competing at the World University Games across many sports. So we have building that mean across the way that we have a consistent structure that continue to turn on the talent, that will continue to replace the aging ones and keep the system going. And then definitely we have to invest a lot across the domestic sports, make sure across all sports, all the leagues are working and stuff like that. Yeah. And then we have a vision to host as many international tournaments as possible. We have hosted so many at the moment in Nigeria, from athletics to karate to arm wrestling to tennis and everything that you can think about in the country. Because if you are trying to build a domestic system, also there has to be a process that gives the people to weigh in what is the process of the development. So in short, we are going to invest in the infrastructure, we are investing in the development, and also we are investing in the early sports.
Because that's a very important part of this conversation. We spoke about it, how the leagues don't have a lot of games, as much games as you'll expect in other climes. And I'll just take this to Coach Wakama. There's something really phenomenal about you, and I'm not just saying this because you've won trophies for Nigeria. It's the fact that you're 33 years old, Coach Wakama. Yes, age is just a number. You've proven that time and again. Your assistant, Coach Wani, is older, right? Even some of your players are older. Isn't Kalu 33 years old? Victoria Macaulay, I think 35 or thereabout. But in spite of that, you're able to still deliver. In some climes, that is already a disadvantage. You say, no, come on, I'm older than you. How can you tell me to take this point? But you've been able to, in spite of that, deliver. Tell us again what perhaps your upbringing, and I know you were born in North Carolina. So is it a function of upbringing? What did you get there that you probably wouldn't have gotten here? So we're able to replicate that and raise more Coach Wakamas for the future. I hope you catch my drift here.
Yeah, I've always been very, very headstrong about basketball. Anybody that knows me since I was a young girl, I've been always carrying a basketball with me everywhere. I'm from North Carolina. I grew up in North Carolina, but I'm by way of Okrika in River State. I came home, my first time I came home, I was 6 years old. And my mom and my family made a point for me to know where home was. So every year after I was 6 years old, I returned home. I actually had a chance to play in the Zenith League. So I had a taste of playing and winning a championship in Nigeria. And that's what ignited my fire to continue to come home and give back and really change the landscape of basketball. So this has been a lifelong dream of mine, to come home and be a positive figure. And another dream of mine is to continue to inspire young women in sports after me. So I plan to continue to come home, put on some initiatives, work right side by side with DICO and the NSC to, make sure that we are also not only training the youth to play sports, but if you want to coach, if you want to be an official, if you want to be in administration, anything you want to do, you can make a career in sports. It is possible. So I'm a living proof of it, and I'm so glad I have the opportunity now in the landscape to inspire others.
That's amazing. There's been that talk about the player's got $100,000. The coach should get $100,000 too. I know you've heard that. I don't know if you want to speak to that. But what do you want to do right now that you've won another trophy? What is on your mind? What is on your to-do list? Because I saw you sweating, and I was like, come on, this lady needs to rest after this. So what's your plan?
The plan is to, honestly, I have to go back. I'm going to enjoy this last few days that I have here at home with my friends and family and my players. I do have to go back. I work in the WNBA. I work for the Chicago Sky. We are still in season, so unfortunately I have to go back to work. My mind will still be here. My heart will still be here, and we're preparing for the next tournament. The girls and I plan to roll out some initiatives to give back to the communities here. So we have some things coming, but the plan right now is to go back to work, and then we'll be back to prepare for the World Cup.
I was hoping that you would speak to, the reward and the difference in what was given to the girls and to the technical team, but perhaps NSC boss, will speak to this, Mr. Diko. Alongside, I know that you've spoken about the development of championships back home and other efforts to develop sports, but more importantly, some would see this abundance of reward to the Falcons and to the D-Tigresses as, tokenism when compared to what is really invested in sports, at the grassroots level. We were talking here yesterday, and our correspondent was speaking, to the cohesion at the grassroots level. For instance, the female basketball team is the Zenith basketball team, which speaks to, the investment of the private sector rather than a real political will, a commitment of, the government on the part of the government. Is this reward just, to look good in the eyes of the public as against what is really committed to sports development at the grassroots by the government?
No, not at all. Rewarding athletes is part of the global plan. It's part of the global system. There has to be an incentive in place where the athletes knew that if I deliver this is what I get. If you go online, you see many countries have this kind of plan on the table. So what the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing, it clearly aligns and it's in tune with the global development that our athletes should feel honored if they deliver for the country. Just a few weeks ago, people were complaining, for example, about a certain athlete who said he's leaving Nigeria to go and run for Turkey. Everybody was saying, no, because you're not looking after the athletes well, this and that. But now the athletes know that there's a reward system. But we have to also work back the system to make sure the logistics, the plan, everything that they need to work with is also perfect. And so we are also working for the first time in the history of the country, the biggest investment in sports budget and infrastructure is coming up from the government at the moment. So our job is as a government, to provide the infrastructure, invest in it, make sure we have the right infrastructure. Then the private sector must also align. They're the ones to come and run the leagues and fund the leagues while the infrastructure is there. So it's like a partnership between the government and the private sector. The government cannot all do it alone. And also government has to provide the infrastructure, the incentives for the private sector to be comfortable to be part of it. So we are all working on that context to make sure everything comes through together. We do our part as a government. We have to show the lead. The private sector will join and also do their own part to make sure the leagues, both across all sports, are also working going forward. So that's the way to go. And we are taking grassroots sports very, 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 very serious. That's why Mr. President appointed a senior special assistant just on grassroots sports development. And so we are all trying to make sure we correct all the deficits that we are coming from and all the errors of before. And we build a very, very credible system, a very, very sustainable system that will equip us, that will make sure our domestic sports is working well, our preparations is working well, our international participation in the competitions is working well. We come in all the time, but we should be able to compete at every competition we find ourselves. We should put in our best legs. The coach was there in the last Olympics when the girls work there and punch as far as they can to the quarterfinals, which is also unprecedented. And so next one we have to aim higher and see whether we can get it much better. And I'm sure we can be able to do that. We have the best coach now in Africa and also the best coach in the world until the next Olympics. She's here with us. And so we can keep building on that and see how we can do. And I must give credit to the NBBF as well, because Musa Kida and his team have also been focused on this and make sure that we recalibrate and get the sports, the basketball working the right way. And we're giving all the support that we have to do to get that done.
Mr. Diko, are you also looking at what partnership that could come through from subnationals in terms of collaboration to, for now, sports is supposed to be exclusive preserve of the sporting community, partners and all of that, but we see a lot of funding from government, which is the backbone of sports in Nigeria, at least at this material time. So what is in the conversation as far as subnationals is concerned, now that they have big monies to spend?
Well, yeah, we are working very, very closely with them to make sure that the subnationals do what they have to do. First and foremost, also they too have to help us in providing the infrastructure across the states, across the local government, or something like that. For example, now the federal government and the state government are working We have to fix back Ahmadu Bello Stadium in Kaduna to get it back the way it's supposed to be, and also advise the state government on how to build many other sports across the country. We are having the same conversation with the Oyo State government to fix back the Abahmi Awolowo Stadium, the former Liberty Stadium, to make sure it's also top range and we have another better infrastructure there as well. And also advising the state on how they are able to invest and make things work for the sports. We are doing that with many states, Plateau State, all the states we are speaking with them. Even today, I'm going to have a meeting with the governor of Plateau State. It's about the same thing, how the state will also align to do that. Because the federal government cannot be able to do everything alone. It's about call to action. The states must also be investing in the infrastructure, in the athletes, the preparations, the training, and get things to work. If you check the budget of the Sports Commission this year, for example, there's the budget now we put there where we say we want to help the state government also to set up their own sports commission that will run as professionally as we are running, and also will align the vision together. So the whole country will have the same vision. Not that some states are running Ministry of Sports, some are youth and sports, some are culture and sports, some are... No, there has to be it's a biotic system that aligns from the bottom up in the country, that we are all working at the same level. We all know what we have to deliver. And you can see the last time how we upscaled the National Sports Festival, for example. You can see what has produced. All states now are competing, are trying to make sure they participate in it, and they also be part of it and bring the best athletes they could. So today we have more than 19 states who are bidding to host the next festivals after Atiku in 2026. It shows that the states are also aligning in the whole vision of Mr. President. Yes, they have more resources now, so they should invest more on the athletes, and then we will bring out the regulations, the process where there has to be minimum benchmark for everything we are doing,
right?
Including even the infrastructure we are building. So everybody will be doing the right thing, and then you can see everything will come together, and we have a very, very great sport ecosystem working domestically and also be able to compete globally.
All right. I mean, we could have this conversation all day because it's really important. We want to be able to replicate these successes across board. And for those who think you're just focusing on football and basketball, I hope we're able to prove them wrong by investing in every sport available, because there's a lot of value we can get from sports. And I'm not just talking about the financial or economic bit. The way sports unites us as a nation, you can't put an amount to that. You can't put a value to that, really. It's so valuable. And I'll just take this to Coach Wakama. And ask you, people have said that Nigeria is not a basketball nation in that sense, but I think we've proven them wrong, right? But there are still things we need to get right. You have experience around the world, even here in Nigeria, the WNBA, even the girls have experience. Some of them play in Europe, France. I know someone plays in Israel as well. So we have a lot of experience. We're not short on experience. We're not also short on that kind of talent, because we're seeing our players do great stuff. So if there are a few things you say, okay, it's working well in the United States when it comes to sports development, and we can maybe replicate this here in Nigeria, what will those things be for you now from a personal point of view?
I think there also has to be a huge investment in coaches, because the coaches are the ones that help train the athletes. And as soon as your coaches continue to elevate the level of training, the level of expertise in the sport, we'll see that grow at the grassroots level as well. There's a Nigerian everywhere. And we tend to be very good in almost every category. In the States, even back home, women's basketball is growing. And I can tell you off the top of my head, maybe 10 or 15 players that I know that are very good that have not gotten an opportunity. All right, so it's huge. What Diko was saying about the investment in the sport and investment in grassroots and giving the visibility to those that are capable of uplifting the sport. But also we have to invest in coaches. There has to be trainings. There has to. In the U.S., you cannot be a coach if you're not licensed. Even in France, you cannot be a coach if you don't have a degree. So we have to also put a strategic plan into how are we going to elevate our coaches, because those are the first teachers for our grassroots. They're the first teachers, and you have to make sure they're getting the right training.
Do you still ball, Coach? Do you still play well?
Yes.
It'll be good to see you play. I know you do that during training, but seeing you on the sidelines, the way you were training the girls, I'm sure sometimes you wish you could just put on the jersey and just make a few shots. Which one will it be for you naturally, 3-pointer or just the usual 2? Which one are you bigger on?
Anything.
I'm
I'm kind of like Ezine's like. It's so funny because my girls inspire me. I'm so motivated by my girls, right? But I would have probably been like Ezine. I'm fiery. I'm passionate. I love to play defense. I love to get the crowd going. So me and Ezine are probably one and the same.
Now that you mention it, you actually look alike in some sense. But don't let me cause troubles in the team. We have to thank you so much. I know you know that the whole nation is grateful and is proud of the work that you've done and you will do in the future. So we wish you the very best. And we have to thank the chairman of the National Sports Commission as well. He's always forthcoming whenever you call on him. Always available, he's always around. So chairman, here's to more trophies in the future. Thank you for the great work. We've been speaking with the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Mr. Atiku, and the coach of the D Tigress, Rena Wakama. Thank you and wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All righty. So let's invest in infrastructure in our coaches as well, because success is not by accident. We'll take a quick break now, and when we return, what is going on with the People's Democratic Party? Well, the FCT minister said that for now, the issues are over. But are they really over? We'll find out in a moment. Stay with us.
Welcome back. So let's do a bit of more party politics. This time we're looking at the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, whom many believe its fortunes are not looking very good ahead of the 2027 presidential elections. Some in fact say that it's dead and buried. But a main actor of the PDP has said that the crisis is temporarily over, but has given further conditions for peace. But what do members of the party themselves believe about the future of the party? Joining us for this conversation is a former national legal advisor of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Mark Jacob, who joins us virtually. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us yet again on the program.
Good morning.
And so,
nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too, sir. So, former minister says the crisis is temporarily over, especially following the exit of the Buccaneers and the vampire. Who are the Buccaneers and who are the vampires? Or who is the Buccaneer and who is the vampire? And do you agree that the crisis is temporarily over, not permanently?
First of all, I refrain from using those words that some other people find very convenient to use. We are human beings. We are family men, respected in our individual homes and offices. So it's not decent to use such words on people, no matter the level of acrimony or politics. I believe we should be decent in all our conversations. And now, as regards the PDP, it's interesting to see the efforts being made to reposition the party. And I can say with all honesty that some of us are a bit relieved that the few things that made it impossible for the party to move forward are being sorted out. And generally, it is healthy for the country, it is healthy for the politicians, and it's generally good for the system that minor issues that ought to be sorted out in a meeting have been allowed to fester and become a problem. So I can see a lot of efforts being made by respected members of the party to resolve the issues, and it's very welcoming for me. The definition of who are the Buccaneers, I don't know. But probably even the person saying those things is part of the evil group. And God will help us to overcome all their efforts at destroying the PDP, because the problems in the PDP are not traceable to one person. There are people who collectively have made it impossible for the party to move, and they are jointly and severally liable. And for now, none of them can write off any, the other, or none of them can say it is the other person that is the problem. They are jointly and severally responsible for all the problems we have encountered.
Maybe you'll allude to the fact that there are many parts to this moving vehicle. Yes, Wike sits at a very prominent position on that big table of the PDP, and he's given his conditions, which is why he was very clear on his position as far as when he was asked about peace returning. He said for now, because for him, the Congress he did or they did in Calabar has to be recognized by the NWC, the leadership of the party, not a caretaker led by Emmanuel Ogidi that was sent to, I think, Edo State, given the defections that had happened there. And also the issues around the Southeast vice chairmanship position of the party. For him, those perhaps are precursor to peace. So while you hold that on one hand in your thoughts, is there really a sense of relief, Mr. Joe, if, for instance, Mr. Nyesom Wike is very unequivocal in his position to support the president in 2027, yet he still has a big seat on the table?
Well, personally, I have attended several meetings of the PDP. The NEC meetings I've attended in the last 1 year. Nyesom Wike has not attended any. And so I don't see the big seat he occupies. He has his interests, and he has his supporters scattered left and right in several positions. But with the repositioning efforts being put in place, there is no way Wike can sit in the comfort of his bedroom and dictate what happens in the PDP. It's not going to happen. Not with the efforts being put in place. And he will need to step out and show what he stands for and come to the PDP meetings and convince people about whatever he's saying. But you cannot be hiding behind the mask and throwing shots at people. It's not correct now. And of course, he is at liberty to take a position. But that position is going to be interrogated by members of the party. And I wait to see how he can force anybody to obey or comply with his own opinion. It's a difficult thing to undertake. And we are waiting. We are equal members with him in the party. He's not more superior than everybody. It's not true.
Are you not concerned?
It's not true.
Yeah. You know, of course, everybody is equal in any organization as far as political party is concerned. But it looks like when it comes to ours, like they say in Animal Farm, some animals are more equal than the others. So in this sense, we understand that the National Secretary of the party is quite loyal to him. I remember when the NWC and the PDP governors had a meeting with INEC, and the chairman told them in clear terms, look, INEC is not your problem. In one breath, in quick succession, you've written to us, telling us, sending us letters with 3 different national secretaries. So go back, put your house in order. We're just here to receive your letter and activate whatever it is you want us to activate on. Now, if somebody has a national secretary of the party who holds the powers of correspondence, including signing on forms for elections, is loyal to the man who you may think doesn't have a seat on the table, are you not worried about that as well?
For me, I agree with INEC that whatever the problem the PDP had as regards who is national secretary was an entirely internal affair of the party. It was not INEC's problem. And our courts, including the Supreme Court, have said repeatedly that the issues of officials of the party, who is who in the party, are completely the domestic affairs of the political party, and that even the courts cannot interfere. So when people saddled with the responsibility of taking decisions on behalf of the political party renege or are careless or reckless about the decisions to be taken, that is when you run into problems. Because truly, there is no problem as to who has the power to determine who is secretary of any party, who has power to determine who is a zonal chairman or zonal executive. It is not for an individual to sit down and dictate. There are a complete set of rules that are guiding and should guide the decision-making as to who becomes any official in the party. So the problems that have been found with the PDP as regards electing or appointing or selecting who occupies official positions, either at the zonal or national level, is completely an internal domestic affair of the party. And when the political party fails to take decisions on that, they cannot blame INEC, and they cannot also blame the courts. The courts have washed their hands from this matter. So PDP must be bold enough to take decisions.
Right.
And either will comply with any decisions that the PDP takes, particularly at the appropriate organ or meeting. The neck of the meeting has power to take very far-reaching decisions. But we have seen a refusal or a failure to take those decisions in the last few months. And that is what has caused the problem.
Right. Mr. Mark Jacob, let me ask you a personal question now. Do you still see a future for you in the PDP, or you're part of those who are considering joining the coalition, the ADC?
Did you? Sorry, I didn't get that very well.
I'm asking if you still see a future for yourself in the PDP, or you're part of those considering the coalition, joining the ADC.
No, the ADC, I have looked at the ADC, and I'm a bit sorry for some of them, because there are still internal issues. This week alone, we have seen a person coming out to say that he is the national chairman of the ADC, and that our respected former Senate President David Mark, they say he's a usurper. That they don't know him. He's not even a member of their party. And so those internal issues have not even been resolved. Talk less of preparation for a serious election in a year's time.
So do you think that Mr. Atiku Abubakar made a wrong move by resigning, at least the letter, resigning from the PDP? Of course, it looks like he'll be joining the ADC naturally. But do you think that was a wrong move?
Yeah, for us, the decision to resign, some of us are very happy that he did. Because personally, I'm tired of supporting him since 2009, 2007. He has always been our presidential candidate, and we have supported him over and over and over and over, and lost. Having lost elections under him or with him as the flag bearer, and to see that at this stage again, he was still insisting that he should be the flag bearer, I was very happy and excited when he resigned. And so it was not a bad decision for us in the PDP. It was good that he has shifted. I believe in growth, and I believe that people, just like we have in our workplaces, if some people don't resign, you won't get promotion.
All right.
You won't get new hands to manage the company if people remain. So people should be resigning. I'm praying that many others will resign and follow Atiku. So that some of us can grow.
And of course, we're already getting hints about where the PDP is headed as far as its presidential candidate is concerned. But the question is that, based on a recognition of the value of the person in question, or is it convenience? Don't answer that, Mr. Mark Jacob. We must anchor at this point. And thank you very much for coming on the program. We've been talking with the National Legal Advisor, former National Legal Advisor of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Mark Jacob. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, are you promoting him already?
Well, we have just one more offering for you before we end the show, and it's an interesting one. Former wife, First Lady of Ogun State and wife of former Governor, Mrs. Funsho Amosu, jumped on the Nicki Minaj trend, and it, got quite some attention on social media in the last 12 hours or so. Let's take a look at it.
I'm tired, Daniel. I'm not sure I can start anymore. Wait. Wait, I'm not ready. I have to set something. Ready, steady. Oh, what are you talking? Okay. Okay, take 2. Okay. Okay, you want to go round? Everything. Okay, ready, steady. Interesting.
We're waiting for you. So tomorrow, Kayode,
now, if this beautiful 59-year-old can do this, I'm going to try my own Nicki Minaj challenge.
Do the video in your
Please
house.
make sure you have like 10 people around you, ready to help you.
So this, for those who are not familiar,
the same high heels in in equal length, yes,
this is 6 inches, right?
And hop on that challenge. By the way, she's always been athletic. Remember 2015 when she embarked on the Mount Kilimanjaro challenge? She raised funds for IDPs. So
yeah, it speaks to athleticism.
Inspiring.
So Bukola, we're waiting for you. So go get your 4 inches or 6, whichever is convenient for you. Do that Nicki Minaj challenge. Record it with everybody around you to be sure that we don't have a casualty on our hands.
Have a standby ambulance, first aid, and all of that.
No, seriously, Bukola, I've sent it. When you're coming on the show tomorrow, that's going to be our trend. Bukola on the Nicki Minaj challenge.
Absolutely, yeah. So wait for it. It's coming.
So just before we go, let's show you the impact of the rains yet again. This is in the Ikorodu area of Lagos State, and you can see the people just looking on because the flood has cut off their access, so they're not able to go through. And there you see the real impact of the rain.
Oh dear, this is really bad.
This is massive.
So they're held up, wherever it is they are being held up. I think they're on top of a roof, by the way.
That's a bridge that's still being constructed. You can see part of it. And normally they're meant to go through. You can see cars on the other side, on both sides. They can't wade through that water, definitely.
So that's a call to Ogun State government. Well, by extension, Lagos as well. We're all suffering the same thing. And that's it on the program for today. Thank you, as always, for your time and your company. I'm Jeffrey Ozama. Bye-bye.
Of course, we'll be back again tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka.
I am Kayode Okikulu. Sunrise Daily is next. Stay tuned.